Hi Tracy, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Zhou. I'm fine. How are you?
Couldn't be better. So, in this interview, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions regarding hobbies, okay?
Yeah, alright.
Um, what hobbies do you happen to have? Do you have a favorite one?
Well, I think for me, I only have several hobbies, such as watching TV shows, reading, and playing the violin. I think among the three hobbies, I like playing the violin best, because this is the most hobby that makes me real relaxed.
Great. So, you do have a lot of amazing hobbies. Good for you. You know, hobbies, they can always cultivate people's sentiments, enrich their experience, and make life more colorful. So maybe next time you can teach me to play the violin.
Yeah, sure, my pleasure.
So how much money do you usually spend on your hobby? I mean, playing this violin. Is it too much?
Well, let me think. I usually spend $100 a week on violin lessons to improve my skills. So that means I spend almost $400 a month. I don't think it's a lot of money for me because, in most families in China, it doesn't account for much of their living expenses, let alone spend on what I like.
Exactly. This amount of money is really not a big deal in many families in China, and it is worth it. I mean, it really brings you so much happiness, and I can see you really like this. Then, how many hours do you spend on it every week?
For me, I spend about an hour and a half playing it every day, which means that I usually spend 10 hours a week. But I don't think it's a long time. Every time I play the violin, time really flies. And I really enjoy the entire journey.
Wow, that is incredible. You actually spend so much time on this violin every week and you enjoy it so much.
Yeah.
After all, if we spend time on what we like, we will never think it takes too long, right? Okay. Um, Now I want to ask you, do you often develop new hobbies, or do you have only a few hobbies, but you can persist for a long time?
Honestly, I'm not that type of person who likes to cultivate new hobbies very often. Because I feel like that it takes a lot of time. I just want to spend time on several hobbies that I mentioned just now, such as violin. I've been doing it for more than 10 years. Yeah.
10 years? A decade?
Yeah, that's right.
I I gotta say you are really a persistent person. You can stick to one thing for so long. I'm really now I'm pretty sure that it has become a part of your life. I mean, if you can choose only one thing for the rest of your life, that'll be it. That'll be the violin, right?
Yeah, I would say definitely yes.
So why did you develop this hobby? In other words, what prompted you to start learning the violin at that age?
When I was about 10 years old, my parents took me to the Children's Palace in Shanghai, China, a public center that provides children with extracurricular activities such as music, sports, handicrafts, and language, and so on. Then I was lucky to meet Mr. Li, a very good violinist at that time. Soon after, he took me as his student. Under his teaching, I liked this more and more and kept learning, and here I am.
I see. So your talent has been discovered by a famous master. So you got the best teacher and the best hobby. It's just hard to fail, isn't it?
Yeah, I have to say, really lucky me.
So, what effect does this hobby have brought? Something good or something bad?
Well, it does have a fun effect here. Every time I hang out with my friends holding a picnic or whatever, they always tell me to bring my violin so that I can perform a wave of talents at a suitable time, which brings the party atmosphere to a climax.
Glad you can get a lot from your hobby. Okay, Tracy, thank you. You did a very good job.
Never mind. Thank you, Joe. Bye bye.
Hello, my name is Aida Nabila, and today we have a very special guest with us. So, if you don't mind, would you like to introduce yourself to our viewer?
Hello, my name is Aina Nazifa binti Abdul. I'm from Ampang, Kuala Lumpur. I'm a second-year microbiology student from Faculty of Science and Technology.
Okay, since the title of our video is to be productive or have fun, why not both? I think I need to first ask you what kind of hobby do you happen to have, Aina?
My hobby is traveling. I started traveling with my family since I was a kid. Actually, it was my parents who love to travel, and we make traveling our yearly routine as a family. We travel to lots of places in Malaysia and also overseas, such as Switzerland, Japan, Europe, and some other countries.
Wow, that is a lot of country that you have visited, and I believe that you really love traveling. But may I know which country is like your first ever country that you have visited?
As I remember, I was still in preschool, and the first country I went abroad was China. It was the first time I saw and experienced snow falling in front of my eyes. I still remember most of the things we did there, and when we look at the photos we took there, I always find it funny since I wore like 5 layers of clothes because it was freezing cold and my parents tried to stop me from shivering.
Oh, that must be so nice to experience like a very drastic change of weather since here in Malaysia we don't have snow and it always so hot. But just now you told me that traveling is actually your parents' hobby, right? So I'm kind of curious on why and how do you happen to consider that traveling might be your hobby too?
I realized I found traveling became my hobby when we went to Istanbul, Turkey. Before Istanbul, we went to Indonesia, Vietnam, Korea, and some other countries. However, at that time, I thought travel was a hassle. We need to pack our clothes, prepare many things before we travel. While traveling, we have to walk, wait a lot. We also have to find places to eat, and when we go back to Malaysia, we have to wash all the clothes we wore. I was still very young, so I find all that irritating as I don't understand much yet.
Oh wait, when you say that you used to thought that traveling is a hassle, till this day I still think that way because like you say there is like a lot of waiting involved. You need to use like a lot of energy, you need to walk a lot, you need to pack your stuff before you go, you need to like unpack after you come back. So yeah, and I think like other reason I still think this way maybe because I'm a homebody, so like I prefer to stay at home compared to like being outside.
Yeah. I used to thought traveling was just to take pictures of places and then we go back, that's all. But when we traveled to Istanbul, Turkey, we went to many in beautiful places. I was really amazed. I felt happy, I felt fun, I became different than I used to be. I felt all my stress washed away from me. I took a lot of pictures and recorded many videos. When we went home, I was so excited and looking forward to the next trip. I asked my parents where the next destination is, when we will go again, and I also suggest some countries we should go to. So since that, I realized that traveling has become my hobby. Since COVID-19, we haven't gone anywhere, so I hope this COVID-19 ends soon so I can travel with my families like we used to.
Maybe I can like follow your route where I will start traveling to places that pique my interest, then I will come to love traveling too. Yeah, COVID must be like your number one enemy right now because it stopped you from doing what you love most. So like overall, would you recommend your hobby to like other people? Like, is it a big yes or like no?
Yes, of course. Traveling not only release stress, travels make you learn new things, you get to know new people, you can learn about new cultures and you can see many beautiful things. It was really fun. You will be amazed when you see how different other countries and their people are from Malaysians. For me, since I travel with my family, it also strengthens our bond. So yeah, I would recommend traveling as a hobby to other people.
Okay, and there's other thing that I'm also curious about, which is like, is there any hobby out there that you find weird or like strange?
Weird. I think I've read in the news there are people who collect dead mosquitoes. I think that's weird because he pastes all the mosquitoes in a box and keep them as a collection. How did he even think to keep those mosquitoes? I only slept those thing and it went missing. I never imagined somebody will keep that as a collection.
Okay, that is new because like I heard of like a hobby where people keep like dead animal, but like not actually dead, like a taxidermy where they kind of like a preserved animal. But I never heard of people making like a taxidermy of like mosquitoes before. So yeah, that's new. So I think that this is all. That is all for our interview today, and I would like to say thank you very much for making time for this interview. Okay,
Thank
bye
you.
bye.
Bye.
So, good afternoon, Jiaqi. So, how are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Alright. So, I will ask you a few questions for our interview regarding hobbies. So, our first question for today is the first general thing, which is what is hobby to you? What does it mean to you?
Okay. So actually for me, hobby is the activity that I can do during my leisure time or when I'm bored or I think like nothing to do and then I want to do hobby. And then I think hobby is the activity that can make me feel good.
Oh, I see, I understand. So when you say that hobby makes you feel good and during your free time, I'm assuming you're doing it during your free time, right? Do you happen to have only one hobby, like, or do you have multiple hobbies?
Actually I have multiple hobby and I think my hobby will keep on adding in my life.
I understand. So currently, like, what is the hobby that you always are doing currently?
Currently,
Yeah, like all the time.
listening to music, reading novel,
Mm-hmm.
and then we go jogging and doing yoga.
Oh, so I see. So it's both like it's a wide variety of hobbies, right? So you stated two types of hobbies that I can see, which is like listening to music and stuff. That's more of a passive type of hobby, and then jogging and all those things. Those are outdoor type of hobbies. So my next question would be, do you prefer indoor or outdoor hobbies?
Actually, both. It depends on my mood and the weather. Like, let's say if the weather today is not so good, it's raining, then I prefer passive one, like staying in the room and then listen to music, reading novel, doing yoga. But let's say if that day is a sunny day, and then I feel like okay, today I'm really in a good mood, and then I want to move a bit, and then I will go for a jog, or I will go swimming or cycling. It depends on my mood that day or the weather.
I see. So like things like listening to music and reading books, those are things that you tend to do alone as a hobby, right? But then you said like cycling and swimming as a hobby. Do you often do it alone or you do it with your friends or family?
Mostly I will did outdoor activities with my friend or my family. But actually, I can also do this activity alone. Like sometimes when my family and my friend they are not free, and then I also want to do this activity also, so I prefer to go alone.
I see. Alright, I understand. So like me, I don't like to do jogging as a hobby. So I understand, but I prefer indoor hobbies. Just a piece of information. And maybe like a final question would be like, because you say your hobbies keep changing, right? But do you remember distinctively like maybe one or two hobbies that you really enjoy as a child? And the second question would be like, with that hobby, how different are the hobbies you had as a child compared to now?
Okay, so I actually remember because when I was a child, I usually enjoy so much in reading novels. And then my mother is the kind that she not allow me to read so much novel because she want me to focus on the academic. So I will always want to quickly finish my homework and then I will just want to read novel for the whole day. I'm the person that last time I would like to sit for there for a whole day to read novel. But nowadays I will because maybe when I grow up and then I start to explore more different kinds of activities, so I think nowadays I prefer and I enjoy swimming. So I can go for outdoor activities like swimming, jogging, cycling, and more. Even though I also start to do yoga also now, so I think it's good for her, like not just sitting there for a whole day, but I also like reading novels. Just I think now I can explore more different kinds of exercise as my hobby now.
Okay, I see. So you're like the opposite with me because when I was younger, I like outdoor activities more, but now I like indoor activities more.
Because last time I cannot, I don't know how to enjoy sweating. I feel like sweating is very hot and then I need to go back. It's very lazy. But nowadays I think like after sweating I feel like I become more energized to do the things and the stuff. So it's good for my health and good for my mood also. So nowadays I actually enjoy swimming.
Okay, I see, I understand. It's your way of releasing stress.
Yes.
So I think those are all the questions. Really, thank you for like spending a bit of your time with me today. Thank you.
Bye.
Alright.
Hi Legashini. First of all, thank you for accepting to become part of this interview, and I'm so glad to have you here. So how are you doing today?
Hi Tharishini, thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk with you. And yeah, I'm doing good so far.
Well, that's great to hear. So, as you know, that we're going to talk about hobbies. So, first of all, what is your hobby or hobbies?
Hobbies, sometimes I bake, sometimes I do yoga, painting, sometimes I'll go for a jog. But mostly I love doing yoga.
So yoga is your most favorite hobby.
Yes.
So, how long have you been doing yoga?
For the past 1 year, I've been doing yoga.
Wow. So it was during your time as a student, right?
Yes.
So how did you fit doing yoga in your daily schedule as a student? Because being a student, your schedule is pretty much cramped, right?
Yeah.
And doing yoga, you can't do it in just like 10 minutes. It wouldn't be much of an effect, right?
So during when we had physical classes, I wasn't doing yoga frequently or maybe like daily, but I did during weekends. So after having like these virtual classes, I started doing every single day, which was really helping me throughout, like, you know, it will be very stressful, but just sitting on the yoga mat and then doing some breathing exercises and then stretching really helped me. So that really motivated me. Even though if I'm very busy, I'll be like, no, you know what, I'm gonna do it. So I was busy, but then still it was okay.
You make time for yoga because it becomes an important part of your life right now. So considering it's your important aspect in your life, does it profit you financially? Is it beneficial in terms of money? Does it bring you source of income?
For now, no, not yet, because I'm still a beginner. But I've seen people conducting classes both virtually and non-virtually. Maybe like through YouTube, they will upload videos. Through that, they might earn money. Yeah, they are earning money. But since I'm still a beginner, but I want to advance with more practice. If I become pro level yoga instructor, yes, I would like to conduct classes and earn money as a side income.
So you are looking forward to become a yoga instructor, yeah? And I understand that doing yoga is not easy as it looks like, because people might think it seems easy, but I've seen people actually struggle doing yoga. So what were your struggles? What were your hurdles that you had to go through when you were learning yoga?
Okay, first of all, it was really hard because I use YouTube to learn yoga. And sometimes I would be feeling like, am I even doing it in the correct way? Is this how it's supposed to look like? The positions and all. But after a few months, I realized that it's not about the perfection that we want. This is the perfect position to get in order to be like flexible and all. It's all about the process.
That's really nice to hear. And you say it's about the process, but some people don't even want to get into the process because they find yoga, what can I get from it? Can I lose weight? Do I have to be flexible? Or I'm not flexible enough to do it, right? So people have this such of stereotype against it. So why do you think people have such stereotypes against doing yoga? And what can we do to overcome that?
I do agree that people will be having this type of stereotypes, but I think that yoga is also about stretching and being flexible, and they might be thinking you're not going to sweat a lot, you're not going to lose weight. But it did really help me through my anxiety problems because I've been doing meditating and breathing exercises. So for me it was helpful. If for them it's not helpful, means I think they should learn more about it instead of just without learning and knowing about yoga.
Just jumping into conclusion that I should not try it. That's good. Because many people nowadays, they find yoga or Pilates something very simple compared to actual weight trainings and all, right? So there must be more awareness of it. And how do you motivate yourself to keep doing your hobby? There must be times where you are very lazy to get out of bed, very lazy to do this, or you just don't have much time. So how do you always motivate yourself to do something that you like?
I like to be flexible. First, before getting on the yoga mat, I'll be like, can I just skip this day? Can I do it tomorrow? Of course, you'll be lazy, right?
Yeah.
But then I'll think of the after process, after doing yoga, how good it makes you, how energetic will I be after doing yoga, and that really motivates me.
So the result motivates you to do the process.
Yeah.
That's really good. And since we are almost at the end of our interview, would you like to add a little bit more? Maybe give a few words of advice for viewers who want to do yoga.
If you are thinking about doing yoga, just go for it. Don't listen to anyone unless they are giving you good advices. But if they are demotivating you, just don't listen to them. Go for it. Do what you like. Do what you love. And yeah, you will be getting the results. Even it might take time, but for sure you'll be getting it.
So never give up on yourself to try something new, right? So thank you very much for your time, Dega. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Siti Hajar. Today, I'll be interviewing 16-year-old Mama Arman and Azmi. Hi.
Hi.
Okay, Mama Arman. Today we will talk about your hobby. So, let me to the first question. What is your hobby?
My hobby is playing games through mobile phones. PCs and other platforms.
Can you give me some example of your favorite games?
My most favorite right now is PUBG Mobile. Other than that is Valorant, Warzone, Call of Duty, and much more.
Okay, even though I'm not a avid gamer, but I always hear about PUBG and COD. It's quite famous, right? It's really fun.
Yes.
Okay.
It's very famous.
That's why it's really famous. Okay. Arman, second question. Do you think it is harmful to spend too much time on your hobby?
It will be harmful if I were to play too long. Like, for example, from the time I wake up and then go take a bath, breakfast, then from 8 a.m. then I play my games till 6 p.m.
Wow. So
if I were to do that, trust me, you will get the worst headache you ever had.
okay, I never experienced that because I'm not a gamer. But I have seen a medical video about a gamer that play online games non-stop for 3 days without sleep, without eating, without going to the toilet, and he died because of organ failure. So I can see that it's really harmful. So it is important for you to play online games, mobile games in moderation. Okay. Next question. Are there any hobbies you want to develop in the future?
If we're talking about other hobbies that I would like, when I was at school, when I go back to school, I won't use my phone so casually because you can't just go charge your phone in the middle of somewhere because of the school law. So every evening after Asar, me and my friends, we will usually go play outdoor sports like rugby, futsal, volleyball, cricket. But the most sport that I love, that I would like to pursue is table tennis.
Wow.
Because most of my friends, they know how to play it, and I know how to beat them. I'm so much better than them. But there's one of my friends. He's well known in Terengganu for his gameplay in ping pong, and most of the teachers lost to him. So I was like, wow, I'm very.
So you really love ping pong.
Yes.
Okay. It's good to know you have active lifestyle, playing games, playing sports, doing physical activities. So doing physical activity is so important in our lives because it increases your cardiovascular health. So it will burn extra calories from delicious food. So I think if you put in extra patience and extra time, extra effort to this sport, you can be maybe you can become in the future professional table tennis player because in Malaysia table tennis is not a mainstream sport just like badminton and hockey, right? So maybe you can take it to consider. Okay, Arman, last but not least, does having this hobby improve your mental health?
So I have an experience through my experience. I have a friend from Indonesia. He talked to me in the games because usually I'm an active person. I always talk to random teammates. So he was very fond of me because I know how to talk in Indon.
Yes.
I know how to talk in their language. I know how to speak softly. I know how to speak nicely with other people. So one day he invited me in a match. We played just the two of us. So the game was like 30 minutes. And for the whole 30 minutes, he talked to me about his private life, about his family. So after hearing about the condition of his family, I was very devastated because I can't believe some people have such life. It was so creepy and dangerous for his future. He was 16, just as old as me, and have such
very toxic.
Very toxic problematic family he have.
So do you think he improved his mental health using mobile online games by expressing himself to you?
Yes, because when he
That's
told
how
me,
he.
that's how he told me, because when he told me about his family, because he's a Muslim, so all I can is you can give it to Allah, let Allah do the job. If you have any other problem, you can just contact me. I'll give you my number, so you can just talk to me.
Do you ever tell your online games friends about your problems, about your private life?
Usually I don't, because I don't do it because my family is in a good condition. My whole family has a very positive relationship with everyone, so there's no problem in my life.
Okay. So you improve your mental health by playing the mobile games. That helps you to release your tension, stress, and more.
Yes.
Okay, it's really nice to know about that. So, thank you very much, Arman, for this interview. I hope